That's a Puma. It's a completely new car from Ford. It's a little SUV with a little engine and it's a little bit quirky. And Ford are hoping that you'll buy it rather than other quirky looking SUVs, like the Toyota CHR, or the Nissan Juke, or the Hyundai Kona. So just how good is the Puma then? What we're going to do here is I'm going to break this down into 8 sections, starting with design, then price and features, practicality, safety, engines, fuel economy, ownership, and what it's like to drive. Now, if you want to jump ahead, those are the time codes right there. Find what you need, go for it, I don't mind at all. And if you're watching on YouTube, those are the chapter markers down there. Rifle through it, find what you want. Again, I don't mind. And if you want to read the full review, go to carsguide.com.au and hey, give us a like and subscribe.
Design. For years, we thought Pumas looked like this, or maybe even this, but we were wrong. They look like this. For the life of me, I can't tell whether the Puma is good looking or not. It's sort of cute with that smiley grille and those big staring headlights. It's almost a mini Porsche SUV. And just like me, the Puma's back looks nothing like its front. No, but seriously, the Puma looks a lot smaller from this angle. How big is it? Well, the Puma is almost identical in length to the Nissan Juke at 4.2 meters long, or 2.2 Richard Berries.
Now the Puma's insides are nowhere near as quirky as its outsides. This is the ST line grade and that probably makes no sense to you at this point in time, but it will. I'm about to get to the grades and the lineup in just a moment. But the first thing you'll be confronted by is that display. It sits really high on the dashboard and it feels like a billboard in your face like that. Now the Puma isn't the only one to use that design. The Hyundai Kona does, the Toyota CHR does, and so does the Nissan Juke. The thing I've noticed though is that the interior of the Puma feels a lot more high-end than those rivals, but it's not as quirky and cool. See, if the Toyota CHR was, say, a Helena Bonham Carter, and the Nissan Juke was Nicolas Cage, and the Kona was Johnny Depp, then the Puma would be Tom Cruise.
Price and features. There are 3 grades in the Puma range. The entry-level Puma, which is just called the Puma. Above that is the ST line, and then above that, at the top of the range, is the ST line V. And if you ever asked in the pub quiz just what the V stands for, write down Vignale. That's right, Vignale. Those are the list prices right there.
So the cheapest Puma you can buy costs $30,000. That seems pretty expensive for the entry grade of a small SUV. But I tell you what, you get a lot for your money. I'll show you.
Coming standard on the entry grade Puma are 17-inch alloy wheels, a rooftop spoiler, an 8-inch display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, sat-nav, a wireless phone charger, an embedded modem, climate control, push-button start, lumbar massage seats, a 180-degree split-view reversing camera, and digital radio. The ST line gets fitted with the equivalent of a Batman suit. There's the ST line matte black grille, the ST line front apron, the side skirts, the integrated rear spoiler, those ST line 17-inch alloy wheels, and sports suspension up inside there. There's sports seats with red stitching, a 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster, paddle shifters, metal pedals, and that ST line steering wheel with red stitching. And it has a flat bottom. Well, hang on a second, this one's got a flat top. The ST line V adds 18-inch alloy wheels, a chrome-studded grille, chrome window surrounds, privacy glass, keyless entry, leather upholstery, and a Bang & Olufsen 10-speaker stereo. Did you notice as well that the entry Puma's face is different from the ST line cars? Their grills are both definitely smiling, but it's best described in terms of Chrissy Teigen smiles. I'll show you. Regular smile, cry smile. Regular smile, cry smile. See? Practicality. The Puma is a 5-seater SUV, but if you're 191 centimeters tall like me, it's really a 2-seater because I can really only sit here and here, but not very well here or here or here. Still, this is a small SUV and the legroom is better than some. How big's the boot? 410 litres. And look, a secret trapdoor with room underneath big enough for one Richard Berry. Ford calls that space the Mega Box. Under there is a mini spare wheel. Cabin storage is pretty good. There's giant door pockets in the front, there's that cave there where the wireless phone charger lives, and there are 2 cup holders right there. Or is that 3? And there's a tiny center console bin, although it's deep enough to fit my water bottle. Almost. Along with that wireless phone charger, there's a USB port there and a mini USB charging port in there. Safety. When the Puma was tested in 2019 in Europe, it was given the maximum 5-star safety rating. ANCAP then gave it the same score for Australia.
All cars come with AUB, traffic sign recognition, and lane keeping assistance. It's a shame though that you've got to pay for things like adaptive cruise control, cross traffic alert, and blind spot. Stay there. Stay.
Engine specs.
All Pumas come with a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. I'm afraid there's no manual. And they also all come with a 1-litre 3-cylinder engine. It's a turbo petrol, and those are the outputs right there. Quite high outputs for such a tiny engine. It's so tiny, and if you look closely, you might just be able to see it. It's down there. Is that it? No, that's not it. Somewhere. Oh, it's down there. Down there somewhere. Somewhere in there.
Fuel economy.
Ford says that after a combination of open and urban roads, you should be using 5.3 litres of petrol per 100 kilometres. Well, I've driven 177.3 kilometres and I use 10.71 litres. That comes out to be, carry the one in there, 6 litres per 100 kilometres. That's outrageously good fuel economy. Check out the size of that fuel flap as well. It's as big as a bread plate, and I know. I've checked.
Ownership.
Now, the Ford Puma is covered by a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is pretty standard for a mainstream brand. Service intervals are every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres, and they're actually capped $299 for the first 4 services. Right, should we drive? Let's go.
What's it like to drive?
Okay, let's do this. Now, as I said before, we are in the ST line grade. Now, it doesn't really matter though, because all grades come with the same engine. It's a 3-cylinder, 1-litre engine. Have you driven a 3-cylinder before? They're different. They're a bit different to 4 cylinders, different in the sound they make. I don't know if you can hear that, hang on. They sort of purr. They go, not gonna keep doing that, but they make that kind of noise. This is a turbocharged one as well. It's a turbo petrol. What you're gonna notice though, there's a little bit of lag just when you put your foot down on the accelerator, but then the grunt comes rushing in and it can take you by surprise a little bit. It sort of goes, there we go. So it's sort of a slingshot effect. You'll get used to it, and on the highway, it's no, like we're going onto a highway here, and it's no big deal when we're, here we go, look at that. There we go. It's no big deal when you're moving along at speed, but where it does become slightly frustrating is at lower speeds. So that whooshy effect that you get with the turbo kicking in is made a little bit worse actually by the fact that this is a dual clutch automatic transmission as well. What a dual clutch is, it's like an automatic manual. It's like somebody stepping on the clutch and changing gears for you. So you almost get that exact same sort of lurch you get when you're in a regular manual. And when you combine that with the whooshiness of the grunt coming in through the turbo, it can make it a little bit jerky in stop-start traffic. Okay, down here I've got a button and you can change your modes from normal to eco. I think there's a slippery mode, a trail mode. By the way, all these cars are front-wheel drive, so don't go too far off-road. But sport mode. Now, you know how I was talking about how that turbo whooshes in with your grunt and it can be a bit whoa. a bit slingshotty. Well, when you put it in sport mode, it just exacerbates that. So I'll just give you an example. So just pulling away from, from 0 k's an hour, step on it, it's like, where it comes in. So around 3,500 revs, it really catapults you. I mean, that's fun, like when you're playing like we are now, but when you're in the traffic, just leave it in normal mode. Otherwise you're going to end up, possibly in the back seat of the car in front of you. No, you won't, but you know what I mean. Now, another thing I found a little bit odd about driving the Puma is the steering. Now, not only does the steering wheel feel quite large, but there's not a lot of feel. It's kind of like when you go to the dentist and you come out afterwards and, your mouth is all numb, but you're touching it and you can actually feel, you can feel yourself touching your face, but you can't feel anything. I've explained that really badly, but that's kind of what the steering is like in the Puma. I'm driving the car and it's going where I want it to go, but I don't feel like I have much of a connection with the road. Now, another thing you might notice is that when you're driving the car, it feels like it's bigger when you're sitting in it than it actually is. Now, I don't mean in terms of space inside, I mean in terms of not being able to see quite clearly where you begin and end out the windows. And I think that has to do with the high dash and the high window line. Look, I've only just noticed that with parking and navigating my way around small streets too. The ride is good, it's comfortable, and the handling is also quite good for what it is. It feels really sporty. Let's break it all down. I'm going to give you a big score at the end, but first of all, let me give you the little scores for each individual section. First up, design. I like the way it looks. It's cute, it's modern, it's quirky. Inside is premium, not as quirky as its rivals on the inside, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. For price and features, we're going to give it an 8. Yes, it could do with a lower priced entry model, but the price of the Puma is around about the same as most of its rivals, so it's going to get an 8 out of 10 as well. Also, it's loaded with kit, which is a good value for money. Okay, for safety, I'm giving it an 8 as well. Look, it is a bit of a shame though that you've got to option a few things like blind spot warning and stuff like that, but still 8 out of 10. Now, practicality, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. It's just an 8 too. Yes, legroom in the back is a little bit tight, but there's a big boot and there's really good cabin storage as well. A wireless phone charger on all the grades too. Okay, for engine, I'm giving it a 7. And look, it's a clever little engine, 3-cylinder, 1 litre. I'm just not convinced that the combination with that engine and that transmission is ideal. Fuel economy, I'm giving it a 9. It's outrageously good fuel economy. Ownership, I'm giving it an 8. 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty and really good cap price servicing as well. All right, what's it like to drive? I'm giving it a 7. And that's because even though the ride's good, it feels quite comfortable and the handling's good, it's quite sporty to drive, the steering feels a bit numb. You feel a bit disconnected when you're driving it. And also that engine and that transmission, look, this car's going to be spending most of its time in the city in bumper to bumper traffic. And I just don't think that engine and that dual clutch automatic transmission is going to give you the smoothest driving that you're going to be looking for. Okay, so the overall score for the entire Puma range is 7.9 out of 10. Now, if you want to read the full review, go to carsguide.com.au. And hey, give us a like and subscribe. All right, get back in my box now.